Have you ever been to an event where the host has called for the speaker to come up on stage and they haven't appeared? They haven't stepped up. I heard my name being called, but I chose to remain with you down here and observe an empty stage. Although I can see where I should be, I haven't stepped up. What are you waiting for, Andros? Are you scared? Are you not worthy? Ladies and gentlemen, life has called my name on different occasions, but I didn't step up. I prefer to remain a spectator in my own life. Change the way you see yourself, and yourself will see. My story started many years ago when I was born. Actually, it started 9 years before I was conceived, when I was just a thought in between an inhale and an exhale. This is me a few months ago at the European Championship of Slam Poetry. This is me with Mohammed Katani, the 2015 World Champion of Public Speaking. This is me at my first slam poetry competition. This is me at my first public speaking competition. This is me acting in my first production, theatre production. This is me getting ready to go up on stage to speak at my first public speaking event. This is me with my mum and dad. Together we built a greenhouse using 2,500 plastic bottles, and we also wrote and published a book together. This is me with my mum. I was born in 1979, but I was reborn in 2015. And last but not least, this is me en route, the big day, heading towards the big O. This is probably the only moment in the history of humanity where we were all heading and looking in the same direction. Everything changed when we all popped out. At least today, all of you are looking in the same direction. But why am I talking about my devolution and not my evolution? A few years ago, I went through a rough patch, a patch that became a repeated pattern. So I decided to sit down and have a long discussion with my parents about my upbringing and my past in order to understand my behavior and the emotional challenges that I was facing. And as we were talking, my mum paused. She sighed. She looked me in the eyes and she said, Andromo, it took us 9 years to have you. 9 years. And I'm thinking in my head, I could have been around when Elvis was still alive. We were trying for 9 years to have you. My parents never gave up on me. They tried again and again and again and again and again and again and again until fertility became a reality. This inspired me to do a little homework and delve a little deeper into the actual biology of all this, to understand how I was created. Picture this. Approximately 200 million sperms are released during intercourse. Out of these millions of sperms, only few survive the treacherous trip, as many get stuck in mucus and die. Only the strong survive. Let me repeat that. Only the strong survive. Around 200 sperms make it to the egg, whereby they work together. Let me repeat that. They work together to break through the outer shell in order for one sperm to fertilize the egg. At this point, I was stuck. I didn't know how to continue writing this speech for today. So I called my mum and dad up for some help. Mum, Dad, I'm stuck. What again, son? My mum started talking about her past and her struggles as a kid. My dad started talking about how happy he was as a kid. And it was in that moment that a thought came to me. What if my story never started that day when I was conceived in mind and body? What if my story started long before once upon a time was used to start great stories? Back in the 1400s, this phrase was used to signal to listeners to open their imagination. Change the way you see yourself, and yourself will see. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here today. Let me rephrase that. We are here today because of patience, persistence, perseverance, passion, and purpose. So tell me, how can we sit back, watch, and not step up when life is calling our name? When life is calling us to speak our truth? When life is calling us to help our youth? When life is calling us to be ourselves? When life is calling us to lead? When life is calling us to make that call? When life. Never forget where you have come from, how far back you have come from. The journey till here, let it always remind you that you have what it takes to stand up and step up. You can choose to see your life in two ways. Either the world has come into your life, or you have come into this world. The former will keep you a spectator. The latter will give you scope, perspective, and the emotions that are necessary that will help you reveal your calling, your role, and what you were born to do. Therefore, don't judge your timing, your location, and your situation. I believe they are serving you and those around you. So ask yourself, where is life asking me to step up and I am not? I haven't got it all figured out. I don't. There are still stages which I need to step up on. But I know that one day I will look back on my life and I will smile and I will say, once upon a time, I changed the way I saw myself and myself saw. Thank you.